Hey everyone, it's Riley, and today I want to walk you guys through a 2021 bullet journal setup that is super duper minimalistic. So for those of you who are new to my channel, like I said, my name is Riley and I make custom bullet journals to sell on Etsy. So the journal that I'm setting up today is one of the dozens of journals that I set up for 2021, but it is not my own. So if you want to see my own 2021 setup, which has just a lot more like variety in the spreads, you can check that video out here. But if you're looking for something a little bit more minimalistic, you found it in this video. So for those of you who have been at my channel for a while, you already know that I make a bunch of journals, and I asked you guys a while ago on my community tab what kinds of videos you like to see around those custom journals, and I got a lot of feedback saying that you guys like to see the yearly setups. And so like I said, on my channel, I've already done my own yearly setup. I've done 2 other custom bullet journal setups on this channel, and they'll all be linked in a playlist in the cards. But I decided to do another one just to kind of give you guys a different look. So like I said, my own bullet journal setup, it has a really simple theme, but it does have a lot more spreads at the beginning of the year. One that I posted a little while ago, it's a lot more colorful, but still the spreads themselves are minimal. And this one is black and white and the spreads are minimal. So I wanted to give you guys kind of a taste of a bunch of different styles that you could use for your own yearly setup. So like I said, for this journal, actually the entire journal is just black, white, and gray. Those are the colors that she chose. I also did use a little bit of brown in this setup to make a bookshelf, spoiler alert. So if you want to follow along with me, just grab your coloring supplies. I used my Crayola Super Tips and my Pigma Micron fine liners to do all of the outlining, and you can find my supplies linked in the description. So let's jump in and set up 2021. So here's her journal. It is one of the Artist Loft journals that I've been getting from Michaels, and I really love these journals. They have 120 GSM paper, 180 pages, and they're only like $13 Canadian, so really good quality for the price. So normally I start off these journals with a name page, and I will still do that, but that part's off camera. But it is a fun way to add some extra like spice and make the first few pages of your journal nice and personal and cute. So aside from the name page, I'm starting off with this little title page. So I just went in and did the numbers 2021, and I'm gonna kind of make it look like they sort of are inverted at that diagonal line, if you know what I mean. So I've got black numbers on a white background, and then where they cross that line, it's gonna become white numbers on a black background. So really simple, really kind of crisp look, and it's only using a black marker and a black fine liner, so you don't need any colors or any other markers to replicate this look. So the next pages that I'm doing are the future log, and I've decided to set up her future log a little bit differently. Instead of fitting all 12 months onto 2 pages, I'm spreading them out over 3 pages. So I'm gonna have 4 months on this page, 4 months on the page beside it, and then you'll have to flip the page to see the last 4 months. So I've just made these little rectangular boxes for the months of the year and added a little drop shadow, and inside of that drop shadow, I like to add just little diagonal lines using one of my thinnest fine liners. I think it was my 0.01. Just so that it has a little bit of a shadow effect, but it's not fully colored in. Now, to give kind of a border, I'm using a gray marker and adding these dash lines between. I've been kind of obsessed with doing these lately. Like I did them in my own January setup and in a bunch of the custom journals I've been doing, and it all started with one custom journal where she specifically asked for that kind of look, and I just really kind of latched onto it, I guess. So that's what I did for all of these boxes, and I'm going to do the same thing over the next 2 pages so that we can have a spot for all 12 months of the year. So you can see I turn the book a lot, and that's because I find that to make straight lines, it's really helpful to be pulling the marker or the pen or whatever towards me. I also find that it's really nice to have the page there to support my hand. So I don't actually move my wrist at all, I just drag my entire hand, kind of dragging from the elbow. So that's why I turn the page all the time when I'm making these boxes or straight lines. So I wrote in the first 8 months of the year here, and now I'm just going to draw tiny little calendars for each. And this future log layout, It leaves a bit of space horizontally so that if you wanted to, you could kind of divide that into 2 columns. So I know for her journal, she wanted lots of things separated by kind of work things and personal things. And so this is one way that you can do that in the future log too. If you set it up horizontally, you can just split it into kind of 2 columns to write your events. So you can have work events and personal events as well. So the last 4 months of the future log will be going on this page, and I'm just using the exact same style for that. All I used to make this spread were my fine liners, and then I used 2 gray markers, one for the border and one super light one to color in the boxes. But of course you could switch out those colors, or you could just use your black pen to do the outline and not add any color at all if you want to keep it really, really minimal. So there's the rest of her future log. Next, I'm going to be making a bit of a reading spread for her. So she wanted a bookshelf to track the books that she is going to read in 2021. So I'm starting off with just a little banner, and I don't know about you guys, but I always like to go in with color first. I feel like it's just so easy to correct mistakes in color as opposed to in pen. So I went in with color first and made kind of the curved banner shape, and then I added a pen outline, and I'm just writing the title, My 2021 Bookshelf. So using that banner and some calligraphy, and I'm adding a few little like sparkle doodles just by making some little diamond shapes and circle shapes beside it to add a very simple title that kind of goes with the black and white aesthetic that she asked for. So the bookshelf is the only place where I'm going to be using a bit more color in this spread. So I've got a light brown, and I go over it a few times just to make it look kind of like a wood grain almost. So I made my little bookshelf. I'm going to outline it afterwards. And these are really fun to make. You can just fill them with like rectangular shaped books. You can add some potted plants or some like quotes and make it look like they're in little picture frames or something. You really can play around. And if you're looking for different bookshelf ideas or like reading challenge ideas for your journal, I made a custom journal recently that was absolutely full of things like that. So I'll try to link that in the cards, and I definitely recommend checking that out if you're looking for different reading challenge or ways to track like reading, restaurants, movies, like everything. That journal was packed with really fun collections, so definitely feel free to check that one out. So as you can see, I'm doing these rectangular shapes with rounded corners for the books, and I'm just adding a couple of plants. That's really the only extra thing I'm going to add to this bookshelf, just to add a little bit of color. And I'm going to leave the books white so that she can write the title of the book on it when she finishes reading it, and she can even color it in either to fit her desired color palette or to make it actually kind of match the cover of that book that she read. So all that I'm doing now is adding a bit of gray to those little cacti pots, and I'm going to add just some lines to the top and bottom of some of these books, just to their spines. I don't know, I feel like that makes it look more like a book. So there's her 2021 bookshelf spread. Now the next spread here, and the final one in this setup, is my personal favorite, not necessarily the way that it looks, like I like the way that it looks, but my personal favorite like in theory. I'm not actually doing something like this for myself this year, but I have done it on a monthly scale in the past, and I think the idea of doing it on a full yearly scale is really cool. So basically what I've done is I've written the numbers 1 to 52 on these 2 pages, and each one of these lines represents 1 week of the year. So I just like to add this light gray to the alternating lines just so that it's not a straight up blank page to look at. I feel like it looks a little bit more exciting when you do add that light gray line. So I'm making a little banner now, and this page is all about gratitude. So like I said, there's a spot for each week. And basically what she's going to do is each week she'll be able to write 1 sentence about things that she's grateful for that week. So I'm using that same technique. I went in with the gray first. Now I'm making an outline to make this nice curved banner. And I'm gonna put the title for this page on here. And it's just sort of the start of the sentence that she'll be filling in each week. So I'm giving her the prompt, this week I'm grateful for ... And then each week of the year she'll fill it in, and at the end of the year she'll just have a really nice place to look back at the good things that she was thankful for. So let's flip through her 2021 spreads. We've got the super simple black and white title page, a 3-page future log with lots of space to the sides. We've got her 2021 bookshelf, and finally her 2021 gratitude log. Thank you all so much for joining me to set up 2021 in another custom bullet journal. If you like this video, feel free to leave a like and chat with me in the comments. I would love to hear from you guys.